Hey plant mamas and plant daddies, this is Thick Plant Mama and this is YouTube video number 2, and we are going to be discussing 10 of my favorite easy care plants in my collection today. So I know there's like a lot of those little memes that float around and it's always things like spider plants, pothos, snake plants, but there's so much more out there than just spider plants and other things. And so we're going to talk about 10 of my favorite easy care plants today. So first I went ahead and set this dude out. This is a Ficus elastica rubber tree plant. This one is also, and I'm probably saying it wrong because I do that with like all of them, Taniki. If I'm wrong, you can direct me to the right pronunciation in my comments below. So this dude is in a 6-inch pot and I got him at my local nursery. So he's actually pretty dry right now. We're going to talk about that. He's actually in a nursery pot. Maybe I can pull the nursery pot out and not just him with it so I can show you this. So he's actually just in this hash pot because that is a thing that I like to do to help acclimate them. His roots are actually coming out of his pot, so he needs to be repotted. That is part of the reason why his soil is dry. So I will have an easier time taking him out of his current nursery pot and putting him in the cash pot that does, yes, have holes in the bottom. So this dude right here is actually relatively drought tolerant. That's another reason why I like them. I water mine every 7 to 10 days, and they don't really get droopy on me, you know, like I do a taco test, which I'll like show you that later with a lot of my leaves to figure out like if they need water. So this is just my assumption that I've made throughout my collection is it's got thicker leaves, so I'm assuming that it's able to retain more water, almost succulent like in nature, but not quite because it's obviously not a succulent. My Monster Peru is like that too. So yeah, this dude has got a little damage on his leaf, but that's because of transit to the grower, to the plant shop in the heat because it is summer and this is Florida and that's just basically what happens. So plants are like people, okay? Like not everyone's perfect and your plant's not going to too. And you probably can't see the damage from, you know, the camera to me, so it's fine. He chills in my living room actually in a north facing window. He's like pretty much directly in the windowsill, but I have a carport, so while it gets bright light in there, it's more like medium light, and he's giving me leaves, so I'm assuming that he's happy in there. My Ruby actually is in my east facing window in my bathroom, in my master bathroom, sits directly in the windowsill, and it's frosted. He's a little shorter than this dude. This dude is totally bigger. Probably like 6 inches taller than my other one. But my other one gives me about 2 leaves a month, I think. So yeah, somewhere around there. And I had this problem about 2-3 weeks ago where my AC in my house went out and 25% of my plants took a hit, including my rubber trees, but it was different. Like their leaves just went like this and their stems were droopy, and I thoroughly watered and it bounced right back up. Like, my opinion, super easy care. So this is the first one on my list. I also really love them, so that's another reason why it's the first on the list. So now I'm going to move on to the next plant on my list. And yes, it is going to be one of those common plants that you see all the time, but hear me out. Okay, so the next one on my list is, yes, we are going to talk about pothos. I don't think pothos get enough love or enough respect that they deserve. Obviously, plant collectors, for the most part, in the plant community, we all see the natural beauty and the simplicity of a pothos. They're very forgiving. You don't have to water them that often. And there's so many to choose from. So I kind of look at it like this with pothos. They're like Pokemon. You gotta catch them all. I really like golden pothos. So I have like 4, but we're going to talk about that right now. So I have one Big Daddy that if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see him. I didn't want to take him down and put him in this video because he would take up the whole shot. So maybe I can like insert him, a picture of him. I don't know. No, let's not do that. Just go to my Instagram and look, because he's pretty big. So I got a smaller one. This one is like my first, and he was not trailing like this when I got him. He's moved around several times. I stuck him out on my patio in the spring and he just kind of took off. But then I decided that I wanted to bring him in. So I did. So yeah, he actually lives in my kitchen on my fridge, and while there's not like, there is some natural light that comes in there, but my patio is like right in front of my kitchen. So that big window is actually pretty shaded. It's a south facing window. So when the light is off, I doubt he gets enough light. Yeah, probably not. So there is fluorescent bulbs in my bathroom and in my kitchen. So I can put those in there, which I do. And he obviously likes it. He's not getting leggy at all. So yeah, easy care plant. I probably water him. He's in a smaller pot, and I think he might need to get repotted sometime soon because I'm seeing some roots coming out the bottom. Yeah, so on top of fridge, easy care. I water it probably every 2 to 3 weeks. Taco test. So we're going to talk about the taco test with the leaves. Now right now he's pretty perky. So what you'll do, I don't know if you can see that, pinch it. Is it firm or is it soft? If it's soft, you need to take it to your kitchen sink and take your watering can out and evenly water him until he's dripping. You can also, because he's in a nursery pot, I can take him out too and check his roots. It's another reason why I really like the nursery pots. So yeah, I don't ever really have to worry with these. Now, I've also noticed that he's kept his variegation, even in the fluorescent light. Like, pretty cool plant. And I'm going to talk about one other pothos because it was small, so I grabbed it because I have a lot of hanging pothos. This is a Marble Queen, and this one is actually not mine. This was a giveaway prize that I'm going to be shipping out to Hoya Ho on Instagram. So if you're a Hoya head, you should check out hoya.ho on Instagram because she's a hoe for Hoyas and she's amazing. So anyways, this is a Marble Queen. I don't find that the pothos with the white variegation are as fast growing and trailing, in my opinion. Maybe it's just me, but they need a little bit more light. I put mine in like indirect light or medium light, and they're so slow. I'm not patient, like at all. But my Goldens don't ever really let me down. So this next one is going to be about Sansevieria. Did I say that right? I don't know, but you can tell me in the comments. Anyways, I have a few in the house. They're drought tolerant. They have very thick leaves. And I find them very remarkable. There's so many to choose from. I'm learning new ones all the time. Laurentiis, which is behind me. I bought 2 of those when I first got into snake plants. There's one that I don't even know the name that I picked up at a grocery store, but it was in a really cute pot, so I bought it when I first got into houseplants. Moonshine is really cool, but this one, Samurai Dwarf. My husband tells me that it reminds him of an anime character, which he's probably not wrong. This dude that I'm looking at is actually really dusty because I'm really bad about dusting my house and I see cat hair on him. So I'm going to have to give him some TLC pretty soon. But, dude, look at how thick. He's a thick boy. Thick boy. Yes, he's still in the nursery pot. So I really like to do research on houseplants. and where they're from, because I want to know more about them. Like, let's get acquainted. You know, you're bringing somebody home, you want to know more about them, right? You don't just want to bring strangers into your home. Just kidding. I don't bring strangers in my home. I'm like happily married. But anyways, so this dude right here is called a samurai dwarf. And in my reading, I found out that the Japanese used to put them in clay pots, and they would not repot them until they broke the pot. So these snake plants actually represented like strength and agility and whatnot, and that was the whole purpose of the like bulbs and strong roots like busting out of the clay pot. So that was super cool. But he sits on my living room table right next to a calathea of mine, my burl marks, and he's kind of shaded. You can stick these like literally anywhere in the house. I've got one that's like stuck in a dark corner, and it's a slow grower, but it still grows. I would say I probably water these like once a month to 6 weeks, like every 4 to 6 weeks. They don't need a whole lot of water. You can train them outside if you want to put them in bright light. I have seen snake plants in Florida in people's landscaping, but they get crispy tips, like hella crispy tips. I just prefer to keep mine in like low to medium light where they're happy. And I also have one by my dog's food bowl, and it looks really cute. But yeah, snake plants, easy care, low watering needs, and they're really cute. He's like so thick boy. All right, so the next one on my list, I'll adjust here, is going to be a string of hearts. Yes, a string of things can actually be considered easy care, or at least in my opinion, these are. She's also blooming. Maybe I can find like some of her blooms that haven't like crisped up on me. Yes, there is a bloom. They bloom. So she sits in my south facing window in my plant room / art office. So south facing, I would say it's probably like medium to brighter light in there, given that there's things that obstruct that window outside. But when I first got her back in February, like she was probably like to here, like not really surpassing the pot. And now this is what we've got. Like, very easy care. I probably water her like every 3 weeks. I don't have success with string of anything else, like string of pearls. It is dying a slow death in my bathroom, and I think the only thing that's keeping it alive is my 4-year-old says, please don't die. No, I just don't have the heart to toss it. Maybe it's a reminder that sometimes I suck as a plant parent, because we're not all perfect, right? But I praise all of you that can keep a string of pearls alive, because I can't for shit. Anyways, yeah, so the leaves right here, you pinch them. So when they're like full, and they're like, it feels like styrofoam if you were to pinch styrofoam. That's when you know that they are happy, they don't need water, they're good. When they start to dry out a little bit and wrinkle, I give her a thorough soak. I kind of treat her like a Hoya, to be honest. I have a Crimson Queen, and that's pretty much what I do with her, is like I check her leaves, and when they're thin and like when you kind of pinch the leaves and kind of do the taco test, they look wrinkly. Pretty much the same premise with my string of hearts. She has thanked me for it, and thankfully not died yet. So yeah, next on my list, here we go. What's the next on my list? I need to check my notes. Okay, so the next on my list is Monstera Deliciosa. I have so many in my house and outside, and they're humongous, so it's really hard to get them in the frame, so she's taking up the majority of the frame. Look at that. So, here's the thing about Monstera Deliciosa. They're super, super easy care. I think this one's in a 10 gallon, good grief, 10 inches. So we've got 2 that are in 10 inches and we probably water them every 3 weeks. Again, moisture meters are great, or like doing the taco test. They'll kind of let you know when they're ready for a good soaking, and that's basically what we do. Obviously, you don't want to overwater your plant because then that makes them susceptible to root rot, and nobody wants to deal with that. So these fenestrated leaves right here, she's been getting plenty of sun. So we just keep on getting more and more fenestration on all the new leaves that are coming out. Bright and direct light. I hear that they will do low light. I haven't tried that yet. So, I mean, I imagine that if you put one in low light, it would not get much fenestration on their leaves, and they would just remain heart-shaped leaves. But yeah, they're super easy care. They are gorgeous. And these have been a statement piece in homes since the 1960s. So they just keep always in vogue. Like, they just keep coming back. And we love them. Okay, so I apologize if I'm like jumping around in this video. It's because I pause it and then go get the plant and then come right back. So anyways, next favorite plant on my easy care top favorite houseplant list, whatever the reason why you're here. I'm going to show this girl again. That was in my previous video. If you're wondering what this is from the neem dunk. I'm just going to turn this off when her leaf unfurls, but other than that, her leaf is really healthy. That's just what happens to sensitive leaves. But anyways, the reason why a calathea is on my easy care list, I don't know what it is about this ornata, but this is just my experience. It's like my medallion is like a picky bitch. My medallion will get crispy as shit on me. So we have like a love-hate relationship, but it grows really fast leaves. But this girl is so good to me, like all the time. I have never had an ornata by a humidifier. Ornata was actually my first calatheas that I bought. I bought a 4-inch first, and then I got this beautiful full 6-inch at my local garden plant shop, which is pretty much where 95% of my plants come from. So yeah, I've never had any problems with her. I've stuck her in like random places and she just thrives. Like she doesn't care. She doesn't care. Do not like stick them in like bright like direct sun. Their leaves will get crispy. I've stuck her in low light situations, medium light, and bright indirect light, and she just deals with it. The humidity in my house is probably at like 50-55% depending on where it is in my house, so it's enough humidity that she gets by. I'm sure if you live in a drier climate and you purchase an ornata, you'd probably do just fine with getting pebbles and putting pebbles underneath her. Do not let them dry out, obviously, like most calatheas, but she's a little bit more tolerant. I think it's because her leaves are thicker. Like the medallion hates me a lot, and he's got them leaves. Meh. Alright, so the next one on my list is going to be a philodendron. I actually really like philodendrons, but I didn't want to make this entire video exclusively about philodendrons. So I'm going to show you the most funkiest plant that I have that is a common plant that I absolutely love. It is my philodendron jungle boogie. I actually got him from a Facebook purge from this wonderful lady in West Virginia, and he came in the mail. Super spotless, super easy to transition into soil based on my soil amendments. I'll do a video on that later so you can have an idea of what I use. I really love my jungle buggy because of his like funky fresh leaves, just super cool. And he's giving me a new leaf. See that? New leafy baby coming up. And this one I just got last week from him. Oh god, it took like 2 months before he finally gave me a new leaf. But I dig everything about him in this pot. So that's the next one on my list. I think I've went over like 7 at this point. I don't know. I have a list. So I'm going to put him down. So the next one on this list is not technically a pothos, though we call it satin pothos. There's exoticas, the silvery Anns, but this one is a silvery Ann right here, and she just grows like crazy. She actually is in my art room. She skipped a couple nodes, so bad girl. Not with this one, but anyways, super easy care. I treat her like I do most of them. She only gets watered every 3 weeks. Now the interesting thing with these is how they let you know when they need water is not just the leaves that get thin. They do have a very like velvety like texture. They curl up. So like this right here will like curl under, or like they just curl up. Like you'll see that it doesn't look normal. So the next one on my list is a philodendron. Like I really tried not to make them mostly philodendrons, but here we are with another philodendron. I literally made a list and like crossed off a bunch of them so they wouldn't look like I was just a philodendron addict, but I kind of am. But anyways, I have 3 of these in the house. This is a philodendron micans. Let me come a little bit closer here. Look at that. Super gorgeous velvety leaves, and like when they start to die, they do this thing where they turn orange, so it's like, it's a happy little ending. They remind me of fall leaves, almost. Like, I'm checking her out because she's also dusty. I have like lots of cats. My cats get everything dusty, but I like rinse my plants off often, so it's okay. This one I bought in a 2-inch pot, so I stuck her in this cute little Target head pot. I have another one in a 4-inch pot that was the first one I bought, and it's trailing, though sometimes I forget about her and she's on a shelf, so like one of her leaves dies. And then I have one on a totem, and it's in a 8-inch pot. Huge, and I love it, and it's by my tuft blue chair in my living room, so I feel like super chic. But it's really the plants that makes it. So very easy care. They'll kind of start to curl up and their leaves will get thin. I water her probably about every 2 weeks. I do the same with my Brazil. Brazils have a stripe. They're green, but they'll have like a stripe, like a lime green stripe on their leaves. And the heart-shaped philodendron, they're drought tolerant. I don't water them every week like the rest of my plants, but I really love philodendrons. Like there's so many gorgeous philodendrons, very hardy, and they're rewarding. Some of them are not as fast growing. So I'm going to show you one of my easy care rare ones for number 10 in my collection, and it is my philodendron billy tie. Here we go. So I love this dude, like just so visually striking. Look at this, is like the most perfect leaf that I have on him. I bought him like this, so he kind of looks like, yeah, like he's been like that. This one's a pretty decent leaf too, but this one is the most flawless. These have orange stems and they are slow growers. I've got a new leaf that's coming out right now. Oh, guys, I waited forever for him to bless me with this new leaf, but I do pick favorites with my plants, and it kind of rotates each week. It's like who's blessing me the most. My Friedic is definitely one of my favorites, but because he's an alocasia, I'm not going to put any alocasias on a top 10 easy care list. But this rare billy tie. So if you're looking to get into rare plants, my friend that kind of like guided me on my plant journey when I first started out, I wanted to collect rare plants and she recommended a billy tie, and I'm so glad that she did. I don't have any issues with him. He's actually in a terracotta pot. I water him every 7 to 10 days and he's fine. Like, I don't do anything with him except for wipe his leaves down, and he's a medium light. I did move him over into the office where the like Big Daddy humidifier is, and that's when this leaf came out. So I don't know if it's a coincidence or what, but I'm here for it, y'all. Anyways, that pretty much concludes my 10 favorite easy care houseplants. If you want to leave a comment down below and tell me which one of these are your favorites, or if you have anything to add to the list, I don't really care for spider plants, so that's why I didn't make it on this list. Tell me what you think. Give me a thumbs up down below if you liked this video, and please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I also have another one that I did last week about pretty much annihilating spider bites in one go, so if you want to check that out, it's down there too. Bye, plant mamas and plant daddies. There's one last thing that I want to show you guys. It's my earrings that I wore today in my second YouTube video. Magpie Flora makes jewelry, beautiful plant jewelry. I will link a URL to her website so you can check out her fun, beautiful plant jewelry. Thanks, guys.